is a biennium program, and you'll see on page 21 it's proposed. The process started last October with our board meeting in Fort Wayne. The board went through the last biennium or 2-year program and updated, added, deleted wherever we felt necessary. This was done before national, and I know Sandy will get into this later this morning, but we then sent our proposed policy from the board to national, and this is the document you see before you. I am happy to report that there are 3 places in the national proposed public policy that they have adopted for proposed for our vote, our wording from Indiana. So the board is really pleased with that. If you will look at page 21, I will tell you where the changes or additions or deletions are. And if you look at the first heading, AAUW Indiana affirms AAUW's longstanding commitment to equal rights for all. We support, and then the bulleted items underneath. And by the way, here are your plans for branch programs, folks, right here on this page. When we talk about mission-based programming, this is it right here, this paper. Efforts to preserve and protect civil rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights, public budgets that balance individual rights and responsibility to community, efforts to improve racial, ethnic, and gender diversity, equal, unencumbered access and participation in the political process, regardless of race, gender, or financial status. That was an addition in the proposal this year. Pay equity and equal opportunity for job promotion and advancement. Wouldn't we love to be able to delete that? That is the first section.
Is there any discussion on this section?
Okay, second heading. AAUW Indiana believes that public education is the foundation of a democratic society, and we in Indiana need to pay special attention to this heading at this time. We support academic freedom, educational equity, gender fairness, and harassment-free climate. We support affordable post-secondary educational opportunities, and we added including STEM and other non-traditional occupations. Full funding for mandated public education programs pre-kindergarten through post-secondary education, including longer classroom learning time and a longer school year for K through 12. We have added also on the last bullet, the first part is the same, vigorous enforcement of Title IX, and then we added including gender equity in STEM education as well as in sports. As you know, Title IX includes more than just women in sports.
Sidebar, we do have a Title IX hero amongst our AAUW members. Mitzi Whichker was nominated by several AAUW members from different areas and was awarded this in Indianapolis, a Title IX hero. Also, I might mention that the Indianapolis branch had Glenda Ritz, the new superintendent of education, speak to our group, and we figured that was quite a coup to get her to come. I know many of you are retired teachers and voted for Glenda. She has some very good plans. Are there any discussion on this? Is there any discussion?
Third section. AAUW Indiana promotes the social and economic well-being of all. We support continued legislative funding for the Indiana Commission for Women. We support education, enforceable legislation, and intervention for victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, and violent crimes. And violent crimes was added onto that before all this big discussion of gun control happened. We have updated the third bullet, an equitable and fiscally responsible Social Security program which recognizes the disadvantages that women face. Advocacy for harassment-free climates, and the last one was added, enforceable legislation against intimidation and hate crimes.
Any discussion on this?
Fourth section, AAUW Indiana promotes the health and well-being of all. We support the right to safe, affordable, and accessible physical and mental health care, responsibility and choice in the determination of one's reproductive life, measures that ensure equity in health care, including aggressive research and complete insurance coverage for the particular needs of all women and girls. And you'll see some of this in your outlook, a little bit of this in the national proposed updates for the national bylaws. Affordable prescriptions and health coverage for all citizens, regardless of income and pre-existing conditions, and we added the pre-existing conditions. Licensed, adequate, and affordable dependent care, promotion of health and disease prevention screenings and programs.
Any discussion on any of these?
AAUW Indiana believes that global interdependence requires national and international policies that promote peace, social justice, human rights, sustainable development, and mutual security for all people. We support a strengthened United Nations and its affiliated agencies. We support international programs that address human rights and the concerns of women and girls. For example, CEDAW, CARE. We have partnered with CARE the last few years.
Any discussion on these?
And this one is sad. The state board added this. With Indiana ranking 49th in the nation in environmental quality, and this is from the Hoosier Environmental Council, AAUW Indiana recognizes the importance of protecting and improving our environment. We support energy conservation, air and water quality, aggressive recycling, and sustainable agriculture. Comprehensive legislation regulating landfill expansion and waterway contamination. Preservation of natural resources and public land, and a 21st century public transportation system.
Any discussion on this?
Next to the last, AAUW Indiana advocates for the recognition of women's worth. We support increasing the number of women in elective and appointed offices and policy-making decisions. And that was just updated a little bit in the wording. Recognition of the value and efforts of volunteerism and caregiving.
Any discussion on this section?
AAUW realizes the importance of the arts and humanities. We support public and private funding for the arts, sufficient funding for public libraries and media services, establishment and maintenance of Hoosier historic sites, including the Indiana Women's History Trail.
Any discussion on this section? Any further discussion or amendment recommended on any part of the AAUW Indiana public policy slate for 2013 through 15?
On behalf of AAUW Indiana Board of Directors, I move for the adoption of AAUW Indiana Public Policy 2013 to 2015.
It has been moved that we adopt it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?